Yo, yo, yo. Good evening, everybody. Um, Welcome to the Mind of Loughridge. Tonight is Can We Talk? All right. Tonight is Can We Talk night. And um, I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm tired of hearing about this. I'm not going to attempt to, um, I'm not going to attempt to go a route that I think um, some people have gone through. This is not a night of picking sides. Um, I want to say, first of all, as I get into this, that I'm grateful for, the apologies that have been given from both um, these individuals that most of us have admired and appreciate and do admire. Um, and so I just want to get into this discussion on this evening, and so hopefully um, my perspective may help someone in some aspects. And so I want to talk about what we should learn from Will Smith and Chris Rock. That's what I want to talk about on Can We Talk? And so this is the perspective that I want to go with. And so I want to get into it. But before I get into it, let me remind you all there's so many people that have transitioned recently. So I want to keep Superintendent Johnny Washington in our prayers. If you don't know him, still pray. Superintendent Johnny Washington in our prayer, and all those siblings and the children who have lost their sister Sharon. And of course, we're praying for the Pace sisters, or the Pace family, shall I say. We're definitely keeping them in our prayers. Ariane, the daughter, definitely keeping them in our prayers. And so, yeah. All right. And just all of the Pace family and different ones who have lost a 14-year-old boy whose life was tragically lost. We're definitely praying for him, them, and his family. All right. So, so let me go ahead and get into this conversation. Hey, Mama Porter, I don't plan to be long on this, but what we should have, and so what I'm talking about is what we should learn from Will Smith and Chris Rock. Once again, wonderful, wonderful. Um, Shout out to Will Packer for his being the producer. Shout out to Samuel Jackson for him getting an honorary award, lifetime award. And then also shout out to Will Smith, finally, after all these years, finally getting an Oscar, which definitely is well deserving. As it was for Samuel Jackson. I think it's just well deserving to do it. Now, what I want to talk about here, once again, is what we should learn from Will Smith and Chris Rock. You have different people's perspective and angles on comedians. And I know we learned not too long ago from the whole Dave Chappelle and the comment he made that put him on this, almost on this cancel culture type mentality as it relates to, trans people and transphobic statements that were then. And a conversation, came about where, comedians got to be careful what they say, how they say, and all of that. And we're living in a time where I think when it comes to certain conversations, that we need to look at it. Are there boundaries to comedic presentations? Some of us will say yes, some of us will say no. But at the end of the day, I think real talk, at the end of the day, what we really got to come to the level of understanding is every last one of us have to know when we have crossed boundaries and lines. And, I don't care if it was a year ago, 2 years ago. I think there are certain things, honestly, that none of us should be able to joke about. And that's why sometimes we hear people say, "Oh, well, that's too soon." Yeah, some things are just too soon to joke about, too soon to say certain things. Now, my place of going, and I'm about to get into it right now. My concern was not just the slap. My concern was what was behind that slap. That's where my concern is. Hearing the words, "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth," twice. That was concerning. Now, I don't know if this is something, I don't know. I have no evidence of this. I don't have no support of what I'm getting ready to say. However, when he said it very intensely. He said it very vehemently. Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth. Now, I don't know the relationship personally. I mean, just looking at different things, it seems like they had some type of cordial relationship, some type of connection of some sort. It just seems that when it comes to these situations, we sometimes as males in particular, do not always handle our emotions correctly, even when it comes to people that are connected to us, whether they're family, friends, or whatever. And so the thing that concerned me was the statement, "Keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth." That was said twice, very strongly. I'm not getting into he laughed first, and did the laugh mean he thought it was funny till he saw Jada Pinkett's face? I'm not going to get into all of that. I'm going to be straightforward with you, sisters. Can we talk? I was going to address that. I was going to address that. I really was. I was going to address that. But then I was like, no, I'm about to get into the conversation on here we are on this major platform. White people it's white oriented, if you will. And here's two black men on the show, and one degrades in Women's Month a black woman talking about her medical condition. And I'm going to say, I'm going to say this, and this is not the first time that, and I couldn't remember, so I had to go look. I think Jada talked about this, Pink talked about this about 2 or 3 years ago. Okay, so let's see. Jaquise says, "Dad, there's been a lot of backlash about Jada's new look as it relates to her hair loss." Well, I don't know nothing about the backlash. She brought it up on one of her Red Table Talks. I couldn't remember, it was 2 or 3 years ago. I know she brought it up. It could have been longer than that, but 2018, 2019, somewhere around there. And why she was wearing turbans and why she was doing that. So a lot of people went into, it doesn't look like she had what she has because of what a lot of people said. It's it don't look like she has what she has and all of that. I'm not getting into all of that, situation. I'm not going to get into that. My focus is not on, that. My focus is on the anger that I heard, the frustration that I heard, the disappointment that I heard. And what I want us to focus, and this is what I talked about when I say, well, we can learn from this. I don't know if this is connected to 2016 when Chris Rock made a statement about Jada Pinkett boycotting the Oscars because there was no black representation or nominees, and they're not getting their due credit and should be boycotted. And then he made the statement about boycotting the academies, like him talking about Rihanna's underwear, her panties, and pretty much said that there is the situation. So now, here's my deal. Let's say, for example, all right, so you said, I believe that's where the anger and frustration came from. All right, let's say, because I don't know, let's say for the lack of sake of argument, that is the case. This is 2022. 2016 is when this statement by Chris Rock was made. That's 6 years ago. If I have any type of connection with Chris Rock and I'm Will Smith, and I felt some type of way about his statement. Now, once again, I don't know if there was a conversation that was had privately. I don't know. But for him to say, keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth, I've only known publicly about what he said in 2016. Okay. What can we learn from this? Okay. And this is where I'm going with this. What can we learn from this? And one of the things we got to realize is when we have personal issues with anybody, the best thing to do is have a conversation. So let's say that, as Jaquie said, she thinks this is where this stemmed from. Let's say this is a situation that it stemmed from 2016. We're in 2022. That's 6 years ago. If somehow, some way, we are going to have to learn, how to have conversation. We're going to have to learn how somebody offends us, somebody says something disrespectful or whatever. We as males in particular are going to have to learn how to say something, talk about it, express it, say what we need to say. If that was the case, like I said, I don't know, 6 years ago, then that's a conversation that should have been had. Should he have defended his wife? Most definitely. In the way it was done, absolutely not. That's why I don't subscribe to that expression, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. Many of us come from the era of your mama jokes, and it's amazing. You can talk about daddy all day long, but you better not say anything about somebody's mama, because you subject to get knocked all the way out. I believe in this moment that we have to come to a deeper understanding. And I'm using this moment to say that there are many of us who feel like a Will Smith. There's many of us who feel like a Chris Rock. That, like I look at the whole G.I. Jane situation. Demi Moore is not an ugly woman. G.I. Jane was a very strong type woman. I'm not going to get into the argument of, do I think he knew about Jada Pinkett Smith's condition or not? That's not where I'm going. But I will say this: if he did know, he was out of pocket, out of error. I believe, this is just me personally, I believe that there's certain grounds, certain territories when it comes to people's health that you may not need to cross. But you know what I'm saying? But people did jokes in regards to R. Kelly urinating on that girl, allegedly. There were jokes about Bill Cosby. There was the butt of the joke. There was other people who had very sensitive moments that happened. Who was that? President Bill Clinton and the Monica Lewinsky situation went down. There was a lot of jokes that went down there from O.J. Simpson. I mean, there's a lot of jokes and things that people were expressing. And I think personally, at the end of the day, certain things, certain lines should not be crossed. Um, what we have to come to the point is this aggressiveness that we have. Um, I'm, I, like others, or some, I won't say others, probably felt the same way. Where was all this anger and aggression with the whole situation? But one of the things we got to realize, and I think, and Bishop Jake said this not too long ago, is that there are points and times when you're on this level, like these two gentlemen, and you're out there, right? You're out there. You are not always allowed to defend yourself. You're not always allowed to defend your name being tainted and your name being badgered and your name being misconstrued and your name being whatever. I just personally feel, and like I said, this I ain't sought the Lord, I ain't prayed, I'm just talking. I think it's one of those situations where there's something Will Smith has to really go deep down and dig. He went through a lot. Well, that Laverne Cox made her little entanglement statement. Now that was to me, that was a very sensitive situation, because this is what brought the whole entanglement conversations about with a lot of us. And she made that statement prior to the show. And there was it was laughter and it was comedic, you know what I'm saying, as it relates to that whole situation. What I want us to learn from this as a people, as human beings, when you feel some type of way about somebody, we got to have the conversation. The best thing that could have been done to me is wait on the side, have a communication. We need to talk. I don't appreciate what you said about my wife. We boys, we friends, we associates, we're business partners, however you want to say it. This is not the way that you should have done it. All right. This is not the way you should have done it. Jada was offended. Jada was hurt. Jada was this. Jada felt some type of way. These are the conversations that maybe not at that time, but to walk up on stage and do that. And it's just me personally. I was listening or reading different comments of people, and a lot of them was like, he should have stepped up, stand up for his woman. I'm not telling people not to stand up, for their wives. I remember when Devon Franklin was married and somebody came for his wife, and he had a right to defend his wife. He had a right to defend Megan Good. He had a right to. What I'm saying to us, I think when it comes to these situations, is that sometimes if I feel within myself, that if you felt that deeply about his statements, we need to have a conversation. But this is what happens with a lot of us. People go around. I'm dealing with a present situation right now. And in this situation, it's 2 years. And now the conversation is about to happen. And now the conversation is about to happen. Like, you can only do what you attempt to do. And a conversation is about to be had, a conversation is about to be made, and to get clarity and get understanding because of the situation. Like, you have not spoken with somebody for years, and you're okay with that. But you are best friends, or you best bros, or you best sis, and it's when I'm done type ordeal. Where is the fight for what you built and what you developed? Now, if you come to the realization that it cannot be mended, you can only be cordial, or it may be a high and by type of situation. If that's what it comes to. But this is where I'm going with this. Somehow, some way, I think there are certain things. My family and we watch Wild 'N Out. I think some of the stuff they be saying, they're like, oh my God, did they just clown them that way? But if you're on this show, you're subject to get clowned. You can't be in your feelings as a comedian when it comes to certain subject matters that's getting ready to come up. But I think some of the stuff that Justina have said was horrible. I think some of the stuff DC Young Fly said is horrible. But that's what they do. And they throw shots at each other. Going back to the statement about respecting women, at what point does respecting women, like, it's amazing how people talk about, oh, we got to respect our black women. But then you have a lot of songs that are dealing with calling her a bee and a slut and a hoe and this, and that's my fine bee and this and that. And so at what point does the disrespect, shift and change? And so I think at the end of the day, this ought to teach us, deal with your inward aggression, your upset, your being bothered or whatever. Even when I don't know if Chris Rock noticed, because there are times, come on, let's keep it 100. There are times I know I've said something in joke, and even though I know the person and I know they didn't mean no harm, guess what? It harmed them. You see what I'm saying? Or vice versa. All right. It's vice versa. It's deeper. Or vice versa. I get it. There's certain boundaries of friendship, and you're just gonna cross. Not gonna put your relationships out there like that. But then when we think about the red table and whatnot, this is a very open book type situation. All right. Okay. She says it's deeper than the hair loss. I know someone that suffered from hair loss. They deal without any issues. Okay, so you're still focused on the hair loss. I'm not even on the hair loss. That's not even my focus. My focus is not on the hair loss alone. All right, because his statement, and that's why I'm going to keep going back to, his statement spoke volumes to me. He said it twice, to keep my name out of your mouth. Twice. He said that twice. And for me, that's deeper than it's not the hair loss. If you followed, if you paid attention, if you followed, you said, which is why he reacted that way. I don't think it has nothing to do with the hair loss. I don't think it has nothing to do with the hair loss, because the statement was, keep my wife's name out of your effing mouth. It's something deeper. And once again, if we're going to be friends, we're going to be associates, or we have some type of cordial business relationship, these conversations need to be had. And a lot of times, just like some of us, we don't deal with these issues. We don't deal with these altercations. We don't deal with these challenges, and we don't deal with the inward aggression. We don't deal with how offended we were by what somebody said, and then we blow it off. It doesn't mean anything, and we have to work on that. Y'all feel me? We have to work on these situations. So I just want us to re-examine situations. Okay, and so Kyla says, and the way he said it, you like heard the anger deep down. Yes, and it is deep, and it is deep. You're right. And so, but I want us to understand, we have to have conversation. We have to have dialogue. There's certain things I know about people, certain things I cannot joke about. You see what I'm saying? And I think that's where it needs to go. So what we need to learn in this situation, some of us are grudge holders. Some of us hold stuff in. Some of us keep stuff in. And situations will bring it about. If it's possible to have communication and dialogue with someone so you won't blow up in any shape, form, or magnitude in a public manner, don't have to be on national TV and all of that, Some people I've read comments and their mindset was, oh my God, it's like a black on black crime in a different way. Y'all be doing extra. We do extra when it comes to stuff. What we need to learn from this experience is whatever you're feeling on the inside, deal with it. Now, like I was sharing with you about a situation that's happened 2 years, and a conversation is coming about. A conversation is coming about. So it's like, okay, let's deal with it. Like there's somebody that's very, very close to me, right? And this person is now in a deep situation. I was just told yesterday, this person wants to reach out to you. I literally, real talk, had to be like, does this person really want to have a conversation with me? Do they really want to have? Because the last conversation I was told was stay the hell out of their lives. The last conversation I had was, I don't want to have any, don't ask me no more questions. Don't deal with me. You do you, I do me. That's pretty much the gist of the conversation that I had. Right? So I was approached yesterday and I was told so and so wants to have a conversation with you. Are they allowed to call? Do they really want to have a conversation? Do they really want to have a conversation? And it's like, yeah, they want to. I said, okay, fine. This is the schedule. They're on a whole nother time schedule, not time schedule, another time zone. So if they call, it'd be best to probably call during this time and then let me know what the number is so I know what the number look like, because I have made up in my mind. And if you've heard me, certain people, I'm like, okay, in my mind, they're going to be dead to me. And then people say, oh, Loughridge, that's kind of harsh. But no, you're going to be dead to me. Meaning not in the sense if I see you, that I'm not going to, but it's almost like I have to act like I have to emotionally, mentally put myself in such a place where I feel I have to put you in a place like you're deceased already, because then that helps me move on from the LOSS, from the being deprived of whatever. And I think what happens is there were some people who made it say, oh, Will Smith, he should be, everybody's like, oh, Chris Rock needs to be canceled. And it was like, no, Will Smith needs to be, nobody needs to be canceled. What everybody needs is this word right here. They need grace. Okay. All right. They need grace. Okay. They need grace. And every one of us gonna need grace. Somebody who, I forgot who said it, that knows some people that are high profile in LA, said that after that situation that Tyler Perry and Denzel Washington walked to the side and okay, I don't know what just happened over here on Instagram. I don't know. I don't know what just happened over here on Instagram. Something just happened to the video. I don't know. So I'm gonna go back. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, I don't know what just happened. Yeah, I don't know what just happened over there. All right. And you know what? It probably is. Let me let me tell you what it probably is. Somebody probably reported the video, didn't pay attention to it, and so that's the thing that trips me out about you, these social media people. People got issues and challenges, and they'll say all kind of stuff or whatever, and you'll be blocked. I don't know if that's the case, so I'm gonna try to go back on and see what's happening if it allow me to go back on again. But yeah, I think at the end of the day, this is what we need to come to. I don't know what just happened over there. But anyway, okay, you said you blocked it out. What did I block out? What did I block out? What do you think I blocked out? Okay. All right. What did I block out? I don't know what you mean when you said you blocked it out. Um, yeah. What did I block out? I don't know what I blocked out. Yeah. Let's see what happens if I get blocked again. Let me see. Um, I think you was blocking. I think you was blocking out the situation that transferred between you and another person that you was giving an input. No, I ain't block out anything. Mm-mm. I ain't block out anything. Um, no, it definitely what I was. It definitely. Welcome back, Instagram. I don't know my video just ended. I don't know what happened. Um, I definitely didn't block anything out. I don't have that ability to block it out. I don't know. I don't. Yeah, I don't know how to block that stuff out. Um, because here's the deal: what I've learned I have to do is, and that's the thing about me, and that is I refuse, and it's difficult at times, and it's not always easy to do it, especially if it's dealt, if you, like for example, I think certain things hurt people more because of who it is. Y'all feel me? Um, all right, okay. What did you mean by viewing the universe dead? I explained that. Did what did you misunderstand? I explained what I meant by viewing people as dead. Um, and that's not the first time I said that. Um, so just to reiterate, what I meant was, you know how when a person has died in your life and you have to adjust to that person not being physically present, you have to learn how to manage that loss and you have to navigate through. So my thing is, and I don't do this with everybody, but with people that I really love, sincerely connected to, I find I had to put myself in a place like, okay, I had to treat them as dead, not dead to me like, oh, that person dead to me, like in a negative sense. Like, oh, that person is dead to me. I ain't never got to deal with them no more. No, for me, when I say dead, I have to treat them as dead as if they're no longer living so that I can function. So, for example, I'm not trying to make this a Bible lesson, but in Romans 6, it talks about, when it comes to reckon our bodies are sin as dead. It's inoperative. You feel me? It's an operative. So I choose so if I see that individual, I'm not going to treat them like trash. If I see them, I'm going to speak, even if it can be, even conflicts with anybody, family members or not. I think when it comes to people that are family or close friends or whatever, it's going to rub you in a different way. I just refuse to be a grudge holder. Now that doesn't mean because I'm speaking, it does not mean because we're communicating, that I've forgotten what was said or done. I look at this situation, and I was just telling one of my sons this not too long ago. When it comes to certain people, everybody, well, some people feel that this one could make a mistake, that one could make a mistake, but you can't make a mistake. And if you make a mistake, right, then it's almost like it's the end of the world. But everybody else can make a mistake. Okay, everybody else can make a mistake. Everybody else can do stuff. But if you do it, and then the mindset is, oh, because you're mature and you're older and you're this, I want to remind everybody. I don't say what I'm getting ready to say as an excuse. I said as a fact. I said as a fact. And what I say as a fact is everybody, we're human. We have emotions. We have feelings. Did y'all get what I'm saying? We have emotions and we have feelings. All right. I don't care how strong you are. I don't care how powerful of an influence you are. Some things will make you lose your mind and snap. Right. I've gone through experience of going through things, and it's like, I don't want to deal with this. And then I don't want to handle this. I don't want to, and so I have to learn how to remember, give grace. But grace does not give you a license to do whatever. But grace simply says you're getting something that you don't deserve. And what I'm saying is, when this generation where people, we're going to cancel our Will Smith. You can't cancel our Will Smith. You can't cancel our Chris Rock. You see what I'm saying? I think at the end of the day, the lesson we learn from this is know your place, know your boundaries. And if we don't know, let's learn them. And at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Know which grounds or territories to cross. All right. Learn which territories to cross. And, many of us, we got people, and I'm going to tell you this. That just came to my mind now. You better learn this. And I'm telling you this real talk. There are people, hear me now. There are people that you may never be able to fully articulate how you feel. Because no matter how you articulate it, no matter how you express it, no matter how you talk about it, there are some people who will never fully grasp your side. They'll never fully grasp it. They'll never fully articulate it, or in the midst of you articulating or expressing what you feel, sometimes people will make light of it. You got to recognize that will be another thing in you, if you're not careful, that will put inward aggression on the inside of you, pain. Like, you can express yourself, but I can express me, my feelings, or they'll tell you how to express yourself or whatever. You have to learn in these moments, because and like I said, I don't know the dynamics of it, but it's like going back to the statement, keep your wife. So why had that conversation not been had? Then you want to clown, Chris Rock. If he was a man, he would have, and it's funny. I did see some comments. He better than me. That tuxedo would have come off and I would have whooped him up. I've seen different comments. You know what I'm saying? I think the dude was pretty much in shock. And then notice what he said. He said, here come King Richard. He didn't even expect what was coming. Sometimes people have issues about us, about you, when I say us, that you don't even know of until situations come about. And then and let me tell you something, people have their own preconceived notions. And let me tell you this too. And it's a fact from just having different conversations with different people. And that is the fact of, people will hold you hostage to your past, but they don't want you to hold them hostage to their past mistakes, their past mishaps, their past transgressions, their past iniquities. They don't want you to hold. They don't want to hold you. They don't want you to hold them hostage to what they used to do, but they want to hold you hostage to what you did. Right? People want forgiveness when it's beneficial for them, or they want their sins, if you will, to be forgiven. They want their wrongs to be amended. But when it's you who same level of grace and extension, you know what I'm saying? And then it's an issue and a problem, right? And so I want us to learn from this, let's really, really come to the place of understanding where we are. Let's understand, real talk. I love Jada Pinkett Smith. A lot of this stuff a lot of this inward aggression or whatever appears to be because some of these situations that this family has put themselves into. I've heard Will and Jada Pinkett Smith say on occasion, maybe when it came to our children, we gave them too much liberty. And so some of the things that maybe Jaden and Willow, I don't know about the other child, decisions they've made could have been handled in a different light. But, because I get it. You don't want to be this restrictive parent. You don't want to be this conservative parent. But then there comes a point in time that you really, really got to deal with it. Denzel Washington said something, and I'm going to paraphrase it. And in church, we'll hear it, new levels, new devils. And that's pretty much what he told Will Smith. Now, I'm told that was said after the situation, but not before. But the point being is, how many, and let's go to the flip side. Okay, so let's deal with this. And I said I'm going to be long, but I feel I'm about to now. Let's deal with it. Let's deal with the person that caused the abuse. Because we look at that was so violent. But let me tell you something. Abuse is more. Working in the school district, we found out that abuse is more than just sexual and physical. It's mental, it's emotional. And another part of abuse is neglect, right? Neglect. So a lot of people's like, so concerned on a Will Smith level, and then had Chris Rock not did what he did. But if there's restoration for Will Smith and his wrong, then there should be restoration. There should be not recompense. There should be restoration. That's the word I want to use. There should be restoration for him as well. People quote it, oh, look at that. If any man be overtaken in the fault, he would just spiritually restore such a one. And when they saw Tyler Perry and they saw Denzel Washington in some photo I've seen, looked like they was lifting up Will Smith because of what he did. Okay, let's vice versa it. Okay, let's vice versa the situation. All right. Okay, so did not Chris Rock need to be lifted up? All right. Even the abuser needs grace. Did y'all hear what I just said? Even the abuser needs grace. Yes, the abuser brought the abuse. And the person who's been abused has to go through that process of wanting to forgive, wanting to let go. Whether it was verbal, whether it's emotional, whether it was physical, whether it was spiritual, whatever, elder abuse, whatever. But that one who stirred up, even the abuser needs that grace. Even the one who instigated, kindled, stirred up the fire needs grace. Even the person who mishandled the situation, dogged out the situation, misspoke, misinterpreted, misdirected, misguided, needs grace. And where I've come to the knowledge of when it comes to people is that the one who is hurt, and what we need to stop is the little mantra of hurt people, hurt people. How about hurt people, heal people? How about hurt people understand that maybe the reason why this person did X, Y, and Z is because they're going through something, but not necessarily trying to justify what was done. You can tell by Chris Rock's voice that he felt, hey, that was a good one, that wasn't that bad type ordeal. But sometimes there's an old expression is you poke the bear. And I don't know who said it, but somebody said, if you keep poking the bear, right, eventually you're going to release the den. Something they said like that. Like if you keep poking the bear, if you keep poking at certain situations, eventually sooner or later. So I'm saying to us that, yes, in a sense, I can't say that Chris Rock didn't know. I cannot say Chris Rock had no knowledge of her condition. But then I look at, who was that? Somebody wrote it from a churchy perspective. I can't remember who it was. But somebody wrote it pretty much, that it's a whole lot of preachers probably should have been Chris Rock. A whole lot of preachers probably should have been Chris Rock. You know what I'm saying? In the perspective of how some people have been dealt with publicly. Brian Carn could have been Chris Rock because how he's said certain things to musicians, and somebody brought it from Bishop Paul Morton should have been Chris Rock because of how he dealt with situations. My point is that on both sides, the abused and the abuser, the one who caused the neglect and the one who's been neglected needs that same manner of grace that is extended. And I just believe within myself, this is where the lesson comes. The lesson comes to us. Now, I'm not about to tell no comedian, you can't talk about certain stuff. Some things need to be expressed. Some things need to be articulated. Some things need to be said, and we can't be offensive or offended by certain stuff. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I'll keep it 100. I think when it came to this whole situation, when I first saw it, I thought it was a stage situation. I thought it was a joke. But then, like I said, when you heard the anger and the pain and the hurt that came out of his mouth, I was like, okay, that makes sense. Now I can tell. And then somebody who was actually there did a recording and talked about, they thought it was a sound effect until they heard what he said. This was live. And so all I'm saying to us, the lesson we learn from this is let's deal with what you got to beef with somebody, have a dialogue, have a conversation. Let's talk to whomever, if it is possible. If it's not possible, then you got to find another way to deal with it. All I'm saying is I'm not about to pick the side of Will Smith. I'm not picking the side of Chris Rock. Both of them were wrong in how they handled the situation. All right. And it could have been dealt with in a whole different manner and a different perspective. I'm just bothered by the fact that a whole lot of people call themselves homies and friends and homegirls and best friends, and the minute somebody do something shady, you blast them on social media, you talk about them like a dirty dog, you say all kind of manner of bull, and then instead of going to that person and really having that dialogue. And then you'll come to the knowledge that, there's some people at my job, I told them, I said, the best bet at times is to have a dialogue with that person and talk to that person one-to-one. Oh, but Mr. D, so. I say, hey, talk to that person first and ask them, did you say da-da-da-da-da-da? That's been me pretty much all my life. So it's like, go to that person, have that conversation, have that dialogue, and get to, if you can, to the root of the situation to try to resolve it. And sometimes the best resolve you may get out of a situation, y'all ready for this, is the fact that you understand that you're going to have to either agree to disagree, or you'll understand that you may never be able to be who you were once again. And you got to learn how to swallow that. As painful as it is. There are some people, you screw them up at one time, it's a done deal. That's their makeup. There are some people that you screw them up at one time, it's a wrap. But they done did all type of stuff, right? And at the end of the day, it is what it is. All right. I'm getting close to an hour. Are there any questions anybody have for clarity? And so what I've learned from this is, if you got inward aggression against somebody, have that conversation. Stop letting stuff build up. And then the flip side of it, if you know somebody's dealing with something, don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. Like I said, the G.I. Jane thing is it was deeper to me than the hair loss. Okay, you said, Dad, what about the saying every hurt dog barks? But here's the deal, though. If I'm throwing a rock, right? Though I threw it in here, of course the dog that got hit is going to make a sound because it was hurt. The question has to be, did I intentionally? Now, Here's my deal. Do I feel Chris Rock intentionally wanted to humiliate or hurt Jada Pinkett Smith? Absolutely not. Do I think the rock of comedy was intentionally thrown to hurt her? Absolutely not. Are there times when people throw rocks at dogs because they want them to be hurt? Absolutely. My thing is, what's the intent? Was the intention to do damage? Was the intention to do hurt? I think for me, that's how I would answer your question. What about saying every hurt dog barks? Because here's the deal. Because technically, a hurt dog doesn't bark. It whines. Hurt dogs don't bark, they whine. A bark for a dog deals with different variations. A defense mechanism, a protection, attention, okay, warning. Sometimes the dog barks because they see something and they want you to know. Sometimes the dog is barking because it's standing at its place of food or water and it's empty. It barks sometimes if it doesn't stand at the door to let you know it got to use the restroom. But if a dog is hurt, it whines. I've never heard a dog that was hurt bark. I've heard it whine. I've heard it make that excruciating, painful sound. And I think there's a whole lot of people who have been pretending they're barking, but they've been whining. And I think many people are barking when they should be whining because of the pain, or crying because of the pain. When I experienced seeing a dog get hit by a car, and I heard, when I began to hear that dog was no, the pain that came from that dog because it had been hit by a car, and the sound that came was pitiful. The other day I was watching when a lion attacked one of those African dogs, and when it bit into its body, the pain went from the what's the word I want to use? The fighting sound of the African dog to a crying dog because it was in pain. Do y'all get what I'm saying? I believe pain. So sometimes we are hiding our cry in a bark. It's like some church people. You try to shout over your pain. You try to speak in tongues over your pain. You try to pray out your pain. There's some pain you don't pray over, you deal with. You manage the pain. You have communication about the pain and how you feel on the inside. I hope there is a red table in closing where these two, well, let me take that back. No, I don't. I hope it's not a red table unless they want to do it. I believe there's some conversations not for public notice. I believe there's conversations that should be had on a private level. And if they desire to bring it out in the open, then they should bring it out in the open. I pray that Will Smith and Chris Rock, outside of these public apologies, I hope privately they have a conversation. Because there's a whole lot of folks, there's many of us that publicly say a lot of stuff, but privately is a whole nother scale. I publicly apologize, but privately is not the same. So I think when it comes to that, I think personally, that's where this needs to be. I hope they have a conversation privately. I hope that they have each other's phone numbers, that they call each other and they talk. And if they want to bring it privately, I mean, that private conversation publicly, I think they should. Okay. All right. So you said, but dad, they're bringing to the. So you saw something where they're going to have this conversation at the red table. And I don't want to, and I don't want to make this about badgering women or black women. I think anybody, you know what I'm saying? If I was a person who had, oh my God, what is that skin disorder? I can't think of that skin disorder. Shoot. I can't think of the skin disorder where, shoot, what is that skin disorder? Where your skin almost look bleached. Some of y'all know what I'm talking about. I just can't think of the name of it right now. That you shouldn't make fun of it. You know what I'm saying? That some people, they make fun of themselves. It's almost like there's certain things that other ethnicities cannot make fun of another ethnicity, or certain groups can make fun of a certain group. So y'all feel what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that's the lesson I want us to get from all of this. Deal with that inward stuff. Somebody hurt you, somebody disappointed you. Deal with it. I had to talk to somebody about a situation because I told them about a dream that I had. And so, yeah. And they was like, yeah, I'm glad you talked about it, because I'm not a dreamer. But that dream, it wasn't a pleasant dream. It was a very horrible dream. And I had to really talk to somebody to air out my emotions and feelings, because if I didn't, that dream had the potential of becoming a reality. And so that's why you got to have somebody to hold you accountable and help you, along the way. All right. She said, I watched them while I was there. Is a high possibility they would bring to. Well, it's a possibility and it's not a possibility. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. All right. So that's it, y'all. I hope I said something, because like I said, I'm not siding, with anybody. I mean, some of these expressions and stuff people say. I mean, some of this stuff is funny. Like Fresh Prince. There's a person when they had Chris Rock's face in the hand of Will Smith. Some of those things is funny, but you know what I'm saying? As sensitive as this is, guess what? You know, you can tell how uncomfortable Chris Rock was in the moment. So yeah, that's just my thoughts. And hopefully, we'll grow from this. We'll learn from this experience. And more importantly, I hope they come together privately. It's one thing to say something publicly, but let's deal with it. I felt some type of way when he publicly apologized to the Academy and all of that, and but didn't say nothing to Chris Rock. But then at the same time, how many of us apologize to people at the time when we ticked off with the person that hurt us? We don't always do it. Y'all get what I'm saying? People tripped out. He apologized. I did it too. When you gonna apologize to the Academy, but the person that you slapped in the face, you didn't apologize to, he was still angry, and so there was a sense of remorse to an extent. And I just want us to be careful. Let us all learn from that moment also. Be mindful of, how am I going to say this? Be mindful of mismanaging defining moments. Because coming from the hood, you'll be dealt with on site. Dealing with these kids at my job, they were on site, you're going to be dealt with. Like, you're going to be dealt with. So that's all I have to say. Any other further comments? Any questions? I'm done. Any questions or concerns? Um, I'm not gonna stop not watch Will Smith no more. That I'm gonna continue to enjoy what he does. I'm not, um, you know, I'm not going to not support Chris Rock. I'm not about to get caught up in this, and I hope Jada Pinkett Smith deals with some of that stuff that she deals with. That to me. I love Jada Pinkett Smith, and y'all know I'm in love with Jada Pinkett Smith for years. To me, that's another situation. There are some manipulative ways. I won't say manipulative. That's the wrong word. I won't say manipulative ways. There are some very covert ways she comes off as. I said this to a student. There are a lot of people that are honest, but they're not truthful. And so she said, "What do you mean by that?" A student was stitching, and he told me, "Well, at least I'm being honest." I said, "But you're not being truthful." See, and in a sense, they seem like synonyms. But the way I interpret it in this generation is honesty is I keep it 100. I keep it real, right? I'm saying, but honesty is not always truth. Meaning, just because I'm honest does not mean I'm truthful. So if I'm ditching, yeah, I'm being honest that I'm ditching. If I'm honest, yeah, I'm cheating on my husband, yeah, I'm cheating on my wife, yeah, I'm cheating on my taxes, yeah, I was an abuser. But truth has to deal with genuineness, sincerity, and character. And I believe a lot of people are honest. If going to the red table is only about being transparent about what you do or what you did, but never transforming, there's going to be a problem. It does no good for my wife to say to me, or I say to her, "Yeah, I cheated on you. Yeah, I cheated on you." Okay, well, I'm just being honest. Okay, but where there's honesty, where's the substratum of truth? Truth carries reality mixed with sincerity, mixed with character. If y'all get what I'm saying, there's a whole lot of folks up front. Yeah, I did it, but what was the resolve? What's the result? What truth deals with character? Now, I may be playing with words, and it could be semantics, but I never heard them say, "Do you promise to be honest? Do you promise to be honest?" Let me tell you. Do you promise to be honest? Okay, how am I trying to word this? Okay, you know how the statement is, "Do you promise to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?" You don't hear him say, "Do you promise to be honest and be honest, so help you God?" Truth, because truth carries a difference. They used to call Abraham and Lincoln Honest Abe, but he was a slave owner. Where's the truth? Where's truth? Some of my kids who used to say, "Well, Daddy, I'm being honest." Okay, but what? Okay, so your honesty is you confess to what it is, but truth says here go integrity. Truth says here's go character. Truth says here goes accountability. Truth says here goes ownership. Truth says here go responsibility. Scripture says if you confess, he that covereth a sin shall not prosper, but he that confess and forsakes. Did y'all catch that? He that confess and forsake shall have mercy. So you're not just getting mercy because you confess, you get mercy because you forsake or you forsook it. Okay? Like I said, some people, but I'm just saying the way people interpret honesty now. Honesty and truth are two different things. I wonder if I Googled the difference between honesty and truth, what would it say? Okay. Now I just went to look at something right now on the internet. Okay. And it says here, it says an attorney on the difference, an attorney on the difference between truth and honesty. So let me see what he says. He says lawyers must be honest, but they don't have to be truthful. He said honesty and truth is not the same thing. Being honest means not telling lies. Being truthful means actually making known all the full truth of a matter. Lawyers must be honest, but they don't have to be truthful. A criminal defense lawyer, for example, in Zave's defending the client, has no obligation to actively present the truth. Counsel may not deliberately mislead the court, but has no obligation to tell the defendant's whole story. Did y'all catch that? He says in the U.S. legal system, a witness has to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, but apparently an attorney does not. How does it apply to the rest of us? If someone knowingly says something that isn't true, they are telling a lie. But they unknowingly say something that isn't true, they are being honest. This suggests you can be honest without telling the truth. He says it's a fine line, which makes me a bit uneasy. Someone can turn a blind eye to the whole truth and stick with their own version. That's acting like an attorney rather than a witness. I want you to go back to what he says. If someone knowingly says something that isn't true, they are telling a lie. But if they unknowingly say something that isn't true, they are being honest. I just want y'all to catch that. You see how deep that is? Do you see in that description? Okay, I want to look at one more, and I gotta get over here. I want to, so that's from a lawyer perspective. All right, but I want to look at it. Watch this. All right, so he says honesty from a psychology today, expressing your feelings and your opinions accurately. Truth, accurate representations of reality. So it says, how could we have ended up with most Republicans celebrating their president who speaks his mind and tells like it is, while many non-Republicans are mourning the dawning of the post-fact age? Easy. It's because people are confused about the difference between honesty and truth. One can be completely honest and totally untruthful. A schizophrenic can be honest about their dread of the creature standing in the corner of the room, when in truth, there's no creature standing there. To mistake honesty for truth leaves you wide open to deception, especially when your honest opinion resonates with the honest opinion of others. Your partner passionately denies cheating on you because he has convinced himself that he didn't cheat. Hard to imagine that kind of selective memory. Imagine it happens. You want to believe him, and here he is being so honest about his feelings opinion, but is it true? No, your partner cheated on you. Your kids say, but he started it and really believes it. He's been totally honest about his opinion, but is it true? No, your kid started. You may not want to believe he did, so you'll say, but my boy is being honest, as though that means he didn't start it, when in truth, he did. So then somebody says we mistake honesty for truth, and we mistake earnestness for honesty. So I just wanted to share some of those thoughts just on that. Okay, do you see the dynamics of that? And because I'm a preacher, you should know the truth. Jesus did not say, I am the honesty. He said, I'm the truth. I believe there's a reason why truth overrides honesty. That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother time. So I'm going to say this. How you tie this in off to this conversation about what do we learn from them? Honesty is, I honestly hit a man. Honesty is, I honestly apologize. All right. I ain't going back to Instagram. It just cut off again. I honestly apologize, right? Okay. I honestly apologize. But truth is, okay, we honestly said we sorry. But truth says, let's be accountable to each other privately. That's it. That's all. All right. Um, all right. I'm about to go. I'm over my time. Trying to see if anybody else got it. Alrighty. So is that honesty or that truth? Said truth. All right, y'all. I'm out. See y'all later. I'm out of here. Have a good night.